Hey guys, we're here at Shaw Audio today talking about our newest product, the tube injection instrument preamp. The tube injection instrument preamp is basically a tube preamp and tone shaping section that drives independent, studio quality, solid state transformerless DI boards. These are the same DIs that we use in our direct injection pedal that we've been selling for about 2 years. I want to thank our friends at Creation Audio Labs for helping design that particular board. It has really worked out well for interfacing tubes with the outside world. And if you haven't checked out Creation Audio Labs, check them out at creationaudiolabs.com and check out all the great pedals and console mods and products that they do. They're geniuses at making things sound good and doing it in a clean and quiet manner. So on to the tube injection. This particular application we're showing here is a small pedal board designed for a bass player, and we've got it set up where it will go into a Pedal Train Nano bag. And what we've done, we've gotten rid of the actual Pedal Train board and just mounted this to a piece of 1/2-inch plywood with black laminate, a common product used for custom pedal board work. And that gives us a little less height. We also don't need the space underneath the pedal train board for power supply because, as you can see, the tube injection has 9-volt out. And we're powering our pedals right off of the unit. So you plug in your AC power cord and everything is powered. It really gives you a lot of bang for the buck in this size product. So basically this setup here, we're coming into a tuner. We're going into a Creation Audio Labs Grizzly bass. We mentioned those guys earlier. This is one of their newer pedals that is used for bass, overdrive, distortion, and also has a mid-range shaping. And then we're coming directly out of that into the input of the tube injection. The tube injection has an input and a through. We're not using the through in this application. It's just what it says it is. It's a through output that can be used to feed a tuner or any device that you needed to use the through output on. Next we have a variable pad. Instead of a 2-position pad switch, we chose to have a continuously variable input pad, and it's there if you're using a really hot instrument, say a bass with an 18-volt pre, or a really hot acoustic with onboard electronics that was just a little too much and was wanting to push the tube too hard. You can pad it a little bit with the pad control. Otherwise, just leave it wide open and enjoy all that the tube stage has to offer. Over to the left we have a bass and treble tone stack, and then below that we have a 3-position mid-range switch. You don't just have 3 mid-range positions. What you have is 3 bass and treble tone stacks. The mid-range switch decides how the mid-range is shaped depending on how the bass and treble is set. For example, if you boost bass and treble, you get a natural mid-cut. The position of the mid-range switch decides what frequency that cut is at and what shape it is. So they're very interactive, and you need to go through the full range of the bass and treble in each mid-range position to really see all of the little nuances, to really hear the sweet spots for the particular instrument you're doing. Over to the left of the mid-range control we have a 2-position fat switch, and it does just that. It fattens the unit up. It makes it just a little more gainy, a little more girth, and it too is interactive with the other controls. So you would want to go through and try all the other different positions and combinations with the fat switch on and off and find out what is best for your particular application. Okay, from there we move out of the tube section and go into the 2 DIs. We have a stage level and what we have labeled as an FOH XLR output. As you can see, the bottom jack is an XLR, and that's what we've labeled front of house. It doesn't have to go front of house. You can feed anything you want to off of it. We're just looking at some practical applications, and that's how we chose to label it. So in this particular setup, the bass player might feed that to front of house. He's got a 2-position ground lift switch. If there's any kind of ground hum to front of house, he can correct that. And then he can adjust his front of house level with that output level. Okay, and then we have our stage output jacks, which are both 1/4 inch. They're independent of the XLR. They have separate level controls. The high output is a tip ring sleeve balanced, It's identical to the XLR output. There's no different in the circuitry. We just chose to use a different jack to make it a little more convenient and to give the end user some options. So you can use it as a tip ring sleeve balanced, or you can use it as a 1/4 inch unbalanced, whatever you need to do to feed the particular rig you're dealing with that day. Over to the left of that is a low level 1/4 inch output. Now this comes directly off the tube stage. It does not go through one of the DIs, and it's a lower level output. It's there in order to feed the input, the instrument input of a particular amp, which requires a little less level. For instance, this thing sounds great as a mid-gain guitar tube boost pedal coming out of the low output and going into a fairly clean guitar amp. Same thing with bass or acoustic. If you've got a particular amp and you just want to go into the instrument input and use this as a tone shaping device, a little bit of boost, a few more features, you can do that. You can still use it as a DI to go front of house. So this particular product is gonna fill the needs of a lot of different things. It's gonna replace your high-end DI. It's gonna replace your tube-driven preamp. It's gonna replace your pedal board power supply. It's gonna give you a lot of bang for the buck. It's in a nice sturdy metal case. It's powder coated. Really rugged piece, and we're very proud of it. The folks that have bought them so far are giving us great feedback from the field. We are taking orders. We don't have it on our website yet. We're a little bit behind getting demo videos, so I thought we would just talk about it a little bit today. And if anyone's interested in it, you can check us out at shawaudio.com. You can reach us by phone at 615-542-3589. We appreciate you watching today, and hope that you will consider checking out the Shaw tube injection instrument preamp. Thanks.